Declutter.
What is your go-to method and how do you tackle a decluttering situation?
I think we don't realize, but there's clutter all around us, and that subconsciously triggers our nervous system.
Correct. Welcome to another episode of the Woven Loft Masterclass series. This is Niyati of Woven Loft by Quilt Avenue. Today we're going to be talking about something every home needs, but very few get it right. Organization that blends beautifully with design. We have with us Rohini from Organize with Ease, who's going to show us how she's transformed so many of her homes with her signature systems. Hi Rohini, thank you for coming here today. You've done around thousands of homes with your signature systems, and we would love to talk about it today. Let's go.
First of all, thank you so much for having me. I think we've been meaning to do this for so long.
Yes. What kind of organization systems are there in modern homes?
I think modern homes, they're combinations of stuff, right? Like somewhere we have the conventional system where we have hanging shelves, versus now a lot of people are going for a lot of hanging and then drawers where you can put in stuff that you need, be it your athleisure wear or your innerwear. So I think we're seeing a combination of stuff.
When it comes to the first hardest part of organization is decluttering. What is your go-to method and how do you tackle a decluttering situation?
But for any of these systems to be effective or functional, I think one is to have as less as you require. So I think decluttering really is the game changer. So I think we all are used to Diwali Safai, right?
Correct.
Where we take out stuff that we feel we've not used. And
Yeah.
you know, a lot of people tell me that they have systems where if one new stuff comes in, they take out another stuff. But we're starting itself from a huge quantum. So systems like one in, one out
Correct.
is not as effective. Or what in today's days we're all doing online shopping, so the incoming is a lot more than what the stuff that is going out. So
Correct.
for me, I feel I have a completely different approach to decluttering. When we work with our clients, we tell them to choose what they want to keep rather than look at what they want to let go of.
Correct.
As similar as they sound, they're hugely different. And a big example is when you pack for your holiday, you pick clothes that you're comfortable wearing. You know that it will fit you well. You look great in it. You don't think that perhaps in the holiday I will gain 1 kg or lose 1 kg because I'm walking lesser or
Yeah.
doing more different activities, and pack the maybes.
Yes.
So I think it's the habit of choosing what you love,
Yeah.
what you think you would wear more.
Yeah.
What you enjoy wearing,
Yeah.
in all areas, right? It could be books, it could be clothes, it could be your shoes and bags. I think instead of looking at decluttering as a removal process, I think look at decluttering as something that you would choose to keep what you like.
Correct.
So I think that for me is the biggest game changer.
So I had joined your workshop, the Ready to School workshop. It has been the most therapeutic and it's given me so much clarity for it.
So glad.
And something that I recommend all the moms to do it is do this workshop. Your statement saying that look at your cupboard and shop from it, and what you would like to shop from it was a game-changing statement. I think that was the method which I use now for all the decluttering kind of systems that I try to go for them.
I feel like this is something that can work across spaces, right? It can work for your table linens, to your
Everything.
wardrobe, to your kids' books and clothes that you want to keep, to your crockery. So just retuning ourselves
Yes.
in keeping our favorites rather than just figuring that, out of guilt, try to remove
Also
some stuff.
sentimental values.
Yeah.
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 We have a lot of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that makes a huge difference.
Okay, and so now we see that the storage is almost on display. We have walk-in wardrobes and everything. I want to know that when you have neutral palette in baskets or bins and uniform labels, uniform hangers, does visual organization help function better?
I think we don't realize, but there's clutter all around us, right? And that subconsciously triggers our nervous system.
Correct.
Whether we like it or not, it is a constant play. Like how we have a mental to-do list might not be a paper sticking in front of us, but it's something that's always playing in your mind, and that again keeps your nervous system in stress mode. Similarly, I feel like in your wardrobes, it's a space that you come in and see every day, and like you rightly said, a lot of us have walk-ins. And today homes are having walk-ins where you pass the walk-in to enter your washroom, or you're transiting from that place a lot more than conventional wardrobes where the door was shut, you didn't know what was there behind. So I feel to have that sense of calm in every space, and a space that you see so much more often, is very, very important. So I feel like in that sense, uniform bins, having it labeled, functionally it's very, very useful, because I feel you know what goes where. When you use bins, things are categorized, compartmentalized. For me, I like, even at home, and when we tell our clients, if you've allocated a bin for, say, your nightwear, if you see that spillover, you know that's time to edit.
Correct.
So it just becomes easier when you have a defined space for defined things. You know that you have to curtail yourself in that space, right? And also, if you have staff-run homes, it's easy for them to know where to put what back. It's easy when you're transitioning between staffs. Also, if everything is labeled, it just becomes a foolproof method. But like you rightly said, I feel most importantly, having uniformity in everything, right? Just imagine yourself sitting on a dining table where there's 6 different plates and 6 different
I think we need it for visual harmony.
And also for just us to be calm, for us to just feel okay that everything is all right. I think that's so much more important.
Moving that, we've come to labels. How important is labeling in your organization?
So I feel for us it's a game changer, more so because the homes that we're doing it for them. So a lot of times when you're going back to using the spaces, you know what goes where. It's a system that it's easy for you to remember and put things back. I feel like when my kids were smaller, I labeled a lot more, because I feel that made them also understand, start to identify words with things and where to put what back. Same thing with staff. And I also feel like in their playrooms and areas, when friends came in, they knew what was there instead of bringing the whole room down.
Correct. Also, when you spend time with kids, you know what you want to do, so you bring that bin out.
Exactly.
You are using time wisely.
And for me, I also felt like even for them to wind up, when they knew what needed to go back where, it just became more accountable, and they could do it far more efficiently than having to worry how things go back where. So I feel for us, labeling is a non-negotiable. It's something that we always would do. It just is a system that's easy to follow.
I think it helps a quick reset.
Absolutely.
And next thing that what I would like to talk about is, what are your go-to accessories for all homes that you cover? Like something that you need to have, it must.
I think if anyone's followed us in the last 7-8 years, they will know that it's bins, baskets, and all forms of things that hold structure, because I think you use them across kitchens, utility areas, wardrobes, kids' room. Baskets and bins are like, if you take them away, perhaps I would not be able to organize.
So, that comes to our shared obsession. Baskets. How do we use the baskets to organize wardrobes?
So I feel anything that is structured is basically a way for you to categorize, right? A lot of conventional homes don't have drawers, and we feel drawers work the best when it comes to wardrobe, because it helps you use the depth of the space.
Correct.
A lot of times when you pile up or keep, what's there behind never gets used or never gets seen. So in that way, I feel baskets work like that pull out.
Correct.
It just helps you access the complete thing, and we believe in file folding, so we feel like you're able to see everything that you are. And in a lot of times when you even hang your clothes, there are empty spaces below. So I feel, one, it's a great space saver. It makes you use the space far more efficiently. And like I said before, I feel when you have a basket, you know that X category goes in it. So if your loungewear goes in that basket, that is your space for that category. So you're not going to be adding more, ideally, or you know that that's what you need to keep that item in. So it just becomes organizationally easier for you to maintain something. And wardrobes are not something that you're going to break and replace often. It's homes that you've lived in for very long. So I feel wherever you have shelves but you need to store clothes, I feel baskets come in very handy. Baskets, bins, all of this, so that it just makes you use the space better.
So we've spoken about our closets. Now I want to talk about something where, in today's homes, basically everyone does not have enough storage to put everything. You have a new family member coming in or a new child born. You are not accounted for it. What do you do in that kind of situation where everything cannot go behind the closet?
So the only way is declutter, because I feel like I jokingly tell people, just that because you've gone to a buffet doesn't mean you eat everything that's on the buffet. Your stomach has X capacity, so
Correct.
then you prioritize and say, okay, I love dessert, so I will leave extra room for it, or you pick what your favorites are and you keep what is essential.
Correct.
Right? You wouldn't have 5 glasses of a cold drink and not eat your main course because you like the beverages served. Similarly, you have to prioritize. There is no solution to having shortage of space until you build extra unit.
Correct.
Be it an addition of family member, be it kids growing where the activities are different and you need more space. I think that is why using your space efficiently for the now is so much more important than holding stuff which you might need in the future. So I think one has to realize that you're living for today. What are the things that you need accessible? Yes, you can put things up in storage, you can rent storage. There are many solutions to holding on to it, but that's not the solution, right? The idea is my space today working for me for now, the life that I'm living now, for my family unit that is now. So I think it's very important to review it in that aspect than hold on to things. And a lot of times when we go into homes, we realize that the less frequently used items actually take up more space. And it could be anything. It could be a razai that you would use when guests come once a year.
Or the big crockery sets which you are not going to use maybe when.
Absolutely. So I think your active accessible space has to be for your everyday.
Correct.
And then if you have lofts and stuff, then you figure out how you store stuff, how do you make it more efficient.
So I built this room for my kids when my second one was born, and a must from every Pinterest page was this open storage system. I have it in our room. Can you tell me what things to store in the open storage system which can help kids have independent play? At the same time, it's practical to put these things outside, not in structures.
So I think you just said it, right? Independent play. So whatever are in that age, which are items that they play independently with and that you want them to explore more of, are what goes in those bins. So it could be, if you have a boy, a lot of them love their cars. If you have a child who loves reading, I would use that space for books. If you feel like you want to encourage them to do, fine motor activities, you would use that space. So I think one, it grows with the age and it changes with the age, and it also has to be with what is it that they can play by themselves. Because open storage, the whole idea of an open storage unit is for them to be able to access. And also, what is it that they play? If your home is a space that they play a lot with their friends, you have kids similar age coming in, what are those things that are safe for them to play when their friends come in? So I think their favorites and one little bit of what you want to nudge them towards is what I would keep.
So I have 2 boys, and any storage system for odd size, like rackets, and then how do we hurdles? I mean, sometimes they don't go in the wardrobe. So how can we
a large basket? So if you come back to anything, I would say a large bin or a basket, because I think it's just easy to cluster these outdoor activities, which with boys, you would find a lot more.
I think they act as modular mobile solutions which you can just put anywhere.
I feel like if you have a basket, especially something that you can pick and move, like if they have garden time, they want to take it along, it's easy for them to just take the whole thing and run up and down multiple times because they remember one odd thing, right? So I feel like that's why categorizing is important. So if it's items that they use just in the garden, it should just be put with their outdoor stuff together, so it just becomes easier for them to know that when they're stepping out, that's the place that they go and look.
Coming to bathrooms, in bathrooms, in small houses or even apartments and compact spaces, sometimes storage is not there. How can we add, everyday storage in the bathroom?
So I feel, one, if you have space under the sink, there are plenty of options of items that you can order and place. The materials need to be waterproof so that just in case you have any leakage or anything of that sort, you're mindful of that. Second, I feel use the counter more effectively, right? There are counter organizers that you get. I feel you get also risers that you can put in the counter. So I feel today we are in a good space where there are plenty of options available. Instead of buying a pretty looking organizer, a lot of times we see it and we find it pretty. I think look at, especially in kids spaces, especially in utility areas like bathroom and stuff, look at what is far more functional. Like I feel like with kids a simple caddy works, that they know that when they're having a bath, this is what they need to access. If they're getting ready in their room, they can just pull stuff from out.
So we all have kids' rooms and we all want it to look like Pinterest homes. And so there's one thing that I would like to ask you is, how do you embrace the mess with grace? Like, what do you do? I know it's not possible to always put things behind the shutters, in the drawers. We need things outside accessible. What are your go-to systems that you can use for your everyday life? At the same time, you're able to reset quickly in it.
So I think with children you embrace mess, so it's a non-negotiable. That I think you embrace a lot of stuff, and dealing with the mess is just being able to be okay with a lot of stuff that they do and the way they keep their space. I think it's a learning as a parent. But again, as much as I'm sounding repetitive, I think decluttering is the only way that you can survive in a kid's room.
Yeah.
If you want it to at least be in a middle path between what you desire and what they can actually do. Keeping so much and expecting them to keep it organized is an impossible task.
Yeah.
We struggle with our spaces, and how do we expect a 4 or 5 or even a 7-year-old to have that whole cohesiveness of how to keep the space? Second, I feel keep systems so basic that they're able to follow through, and that's why I feel bins and baskets work well, because they know all their Lego goes in there, they know all their balls go in there, they know all their everything. So I feel like what we teach and what we help our clients do is, once you educate your child on where what goes, it just becomes easier for them to follow through, and it becomes easier for you to help them follow through, instead of expecting them to keep it in different places every time or keep it in a particular way. Keep the system simple. First, start by keeping less. Second, keep the system simple so that it's easy for them to maintain. And second, do it with them a couple of times. I feel like once you do it with them, it just becomes easier
and
for them
we
to.
wanted to imbibe this life skill in them, right? Like
It is, like you said, it is a life skill. So I feel like if you're able to teach them to do this at such early age, it's something that will hold them in like great space. Great space, yeah.
So last question, but a few quick hacks and tips that you feel that help you store, organize and declutter better.
Declutter. I think if you do that, storage becomes an easy part. I feel like one, keep what you really need. Second is have a space for everything. You know where what goes in your home, so it just becomes, be it kids' room, wardrobe, it becomes easy for everyone to follow through and keep it. Categorize items, so you know that all your stationery in the house, the extra stationery is in one space, you know your personal stationery is next to it. So I feel like categorizing and then grouping similar items, like like your personal stationery, your scissors, your everything, gifting items, all stay in one place. So then it just becomes easier for the house to function, and when you need to use something, then you know that you have everything that you require right there. I think like a great example of this is our homes, in terms of in our homes is the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
Like the masalas and dals are next to one another, because when you cook, you need both of it together.
Correct.
So everything, though we don't realize it, but everything is compartmentalized and categorized as per usage
and logic.
Yeah, and I feel like if we just we've been doing it for years, but in the process of buying so much and making our house look a certain way, we're forgetting the basic system. So I think if we can just carry that forward to other areas of the house. So I feel when we're talking about kids' room and how to have this middle path of where we want them to maintain, a huge challenge that I see parents face is the wardrobe. Like, especially if you have an independent child, they want to pull back one outfit and the whole pile falls.
Yeah.
And for that, I feel the way you organize your wardrobe is their wardrobe is very important. Hang everything that they're going to wear out, because that's something that they use less frequently, and also choose from.
And
And
we
it's
can
also
avoid the-
height that is not accessible every day.
Yeah.
And in the drawers, something that we highly recommend for kids is, instead of keeping thappis, which is the conventional way that we keep our clothes, file fold them. And when we file fold also, we try and do it color wise, so kids have great memory. Like I see with my daughter, she wants to wear that one particular top, so it's easy for them to find and take it out. And also when you file fold and keep it in bins, they don't, when they pull one thing out, nothing goes astray, like it's not messed up. So it's easier for you to also maintain and tidy it up, versus doing it like every day, getting a trigger point where you open the cupboard and you realize like your pile is not as straight as you want it to be.
Moving to organizing, what are the must-haves for to organize my kids' wardrobe?
So I would say that bins for sure, like bins that are work for your wardrobe spaces, bins that work for their toys. So you can look at different kinds of bins that work with the aesthetic of your home and also the age of your child. Bins for sure. Caddies, be it stationery that they can use, pick up a caddy. Like you see kids a lot of time doing art and craft in different places, right? It's not that they come to their table and sit there on the floor and doing. So a bin is easier for them to carry around, for them to do it wherever they require. And for me, in terms of the third thing, I would say storage boxes, because a lot of stuff you want to just put away, like it could be their artwork, it could be, toys or puzzles that they're not using it on a day-to-day basis. So I think any form of storage boxes that's closed, that doesn't get dust, is great for them to have.
Thank you, Rohini, for joining us today and showing us that there's order in chaos. And thanks for coming and doing this. And we're fully following a lot more organization tips on your page.
Thank you so much. And you know that we love using your products all the time, that not only are they made from sustainable stuff, made locally in India, like great quality and also ethically sourced. So we hope to be using more of those in our projects.
Thank you.